Hey guys, so Deno is here finally. I think it has been 2 years in the making, and now we have the successor for Node.js. If you haven't noticed, Deno is an acronym for Node. Like just switch those two letters around, and you go from Node to Deno. And what is it? What's the point for Deno's existence? So to understand why Deno exists, we need to take a look at Node and the problems it has. So, both Node and Deno were created by Ryan Dahl, and he talks about all of those problems in this awesome video right here. I'll leave the video's link in the description if you want to check this out. But essentially, it's all there. But it's mainly around two things: the way Node manages user code and security, right? So in Node, you have really a very cumbersome module management. You have the first of all, you have a centralized package manager, which, well, centralized is not good, right? The web is not centralized, so it's not a good principle to have. And if that wasn't enough, it's also privately owned, so npm has that problem. Also, you have the package.json, you have the node module folder, and the modules resolution algorithm. It's kind of a mess. It's hard to maintain. That's the problem, right? And then we have security. So if you know how Node works, you know that, for example, if you run VS Code and you have a linter, and that linter is written in JavaScript or TypeScript, it needs to go through Node, which means that a linter could actually access your file system and your network, which obviously is not a good combination, right? So Deno addresses those two really big and main problems, and then solves a bunch of other things while at it, right? Extra features that Deno has that like noteworthy are the fact that Deno has a built-in TypeScript compiler, which means that you can feed Deno. Uh, um, uh, I forgot the word. TypeScript. Damn it. TypeScript. So you can feed it TypeScript. You don't have to precompile or to transpile TypeScript into JavaScript so that you can feed JavaScript into it. You can feed TypeScript directly into it, and the built-in compiler or transpiler will transpile and execute the JavaScript for you, which is obviously, very useful. What else? Deno also supports top level await, which is a really awesome feature. And a really big change from Node is that, so for example, if you want to launch a thread in Node, you would have to do something with the workers thread API in Node. But we already have an API in the browser for launching threads. It's called the Web Workers API. So what Deno does is, whenever there is overlapping functionality, just use whatever is in the browser. So that if you have a program that works in the browser, it's also going to work on the desktop. Vice versa, not necessarily, but whatever APIs you are using that the browser has, whatever APIs you need that the browser already has, you just need to learn them once for the browser, and they will work for Deno as well. No need to learn a separate API like you had to do in Node, which is pretty cool. Now, two videos I want to show you. The first one I already told you about. So it's 10 things I regret about Node.js. It's a really good overview of design mistakes that he made. It's a good video. I appreciate the fact that, being a developer, sometimes we I guess this is not for developers only, but sometimes we don't like to admit our mistakes, right? And this guy does a really great job at breaking down the mistakes, the design mistakes he did in Node, and how to correct them now in Deno. The other video is this one right here. It's a little more recent video where he goes through, I guess the Deno, by the time he made this video, was well, I don't guess, I'm pretty sure it wasn't in version 1 yet. It was still in development, and he had a few things to figure out, but it's a really good overview of Deno. Obviously the web page, and you have the blog post if you want to take a look at have a really good written overview of what Deno is all about. All right, now if you use, for the most part, Deno is like Node, only better, right? So let me show you how Deno works, which is because this is pretty cool. Now I have a little demo script here. This is just like a server, like you would have on Node, with a few differences. So notice, first of all, the import statement. In Deno, you import files from a relative URL or from an absolute URL, right? There's no require, there's no extremely complex module resolution algorithm here. It's fairly simple. It works just like the browser, and that's the point of Deno, is trying to maintain the standards. So this is fairly simple, but here's the thing. You load the script from the web, right? Now, you might be on an airplane or something, and you still want to run the script. You still want to test your stuff. So what happens is that Deno will download this TS file, and all the dependencies it might have, and it will put those dependencies oh my god in a hidden folder somewhere on your computer. You do not need to worry about it. How do you do versioning? You do versioning on the URL itself, which is a good practice. And what if you need to reload those scripts for some reason? Well, you use the reload flag on Deno. I'll show you how that works in a minute. Now we do have some we do have another thing here, which is the await on a for loop. This is a top level await. Now we have two errors here, and the reason for these two errors is because VS Code is not used to this. In order to fix this, we can actually install the Deno extension made by the creator of Deno. It's the just Java compile, or just Javac, however you want to call that. You install this and the errors go away. There we go. Now let's run this puppy. So you go Deno. By the way, you can run Deno help, and you can see a bunch of commands you can use on Deno. Some of them are really helpful, like the eval command, for example. You can do a lot of magic with that. Anyway, we want to run the script, right? So let's do Deno run demo.ts. Demo.ts, there we go. And I have an error somewhere. Oh, right. Security, there we go. So this script wants to access my network. By default, Deno does not allow that. If I want to allow access to the network, I have to say allow net, or I can even tell Deno to only allow a particular website. If I do like allow net equals google.com, it will only allow my script to access google.com, but I don't want that. And now it's working. Let's take a look. And there we have it. A hello world. Hello. Right. So notice that you didn't see the like the server.ts file being downloaded, and the reason for that is because I ran this script before. So let me show you what happens the first time you actually Oh, actually, let's keep that. Allow net. The first time you run it, you will see this. It's going to download all the dependencies, compile, boom, and then it's running, right? And the second time you run it, whoops, my bad. The second time you run it, like you just saw earlier, it just runs immediately because it has all the packages installed in a hidden folder in your computer. You do not need to worry about it. It will just run. All right. This is pretty much it for Deno. It solves two very interesting problems. It's the node module resolution, which is much simpler and follows the standards of the browser. You just link to a file, and then because you don't want to always be having to access those files, then it will actually cache these files indefinitely until you run the reload flag again, which is just simplifies, decentralizes the whole module management process, decentralizes all of that, and top level await and security, which is pretty cool. So you have, so I'm not showing you everything, but you have the allow net, and I guess let's check this out. Did I do something wrong? There we go. Maybe we have all the flags here. Yeah, there we go. So we have allow all. So you can run and give it permissions for everything. Allow environment access, high resolution time measurement, allow net, allow plugin, allow read, allow run, allow write. So you have really fine-grained control over security. You can say exactly what a script is allowed to do or not, which is something Node could not do. Like literally your linter could access your file system and upload your files to a server, which is horrible, obviously. All right, guys, this is it for Deno. I'm very excited for it. I think, honestly, I mean, unless I have projects that already have Node installed, I'm not using Node again. Deno is better. It accepts TypeScript directly. So yeah, Deno all the way. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this. See you around.